you try to work musically, but the student is permanently occupied with navigating around technical cliffs, being am I in tune, am I in the right contact point, and those things. Whilst, of course, you need to educate musically and stylistically from straight away, from early on, it's important to get the basics right and take your time for that. Insist on it.
안녕하세요. 저는 서울대학교 졸업하고 유학 준비 중인 문영란입니다. 우선은 악보에 적혀있는 섬세한 부분들이 되게 많기 때문에 악보에 충실한 게 가장 우선시 돼야 하는 것 같고, 깊이를 표현하는 데 있어서는 소리적인 접근을 많이 해야 되는 곡인 것 같습니다. 제가 몸에 힘이 좀 많이 들어가는 편이라고 생각을 해가지고 그런 면에서 조금 도움을 받고 싶습니다.
Bravo. Really committed performance. I liked lots of things of it, especially your sense for pulse. The right mixture of freedom and pulse. So I'd like to start with the nature of the bow. The bow is light here and heavy here. Right? So by nature it would make a diminuendo to the tip and the crescendo to the heel. And if you look at earlier music, Bach, but also still Mozart, you hear this so-called rule of down bow integrated into the music. Yeah, so if you play Bach, you can be relatively sure, or in many cases where it fits the nature of the bow, where you play strongly here and then lightly here. You see we go, that it goes lighter, stronger, lighter. Yeah, and then of course as we proceed in music history and the development of the taut bow, one of the reasons why it was developed is so that you could sustain the sound, yeah, and do the same things here, what you do here. So before we talk about the piece in general, I think we need to talk about your setup. Where you place the violin, You know, we can place the violin in different places, further up here or further down there, on the top of my shoulder, like very high, as if I had the middle chin raised. Yeah? If I go like this and I go to the tip, you see, I have lots of space. I could go even further. But you see for myself, very narrow here. It's not so good. If I go further down, you see here. No. See, I need to stretch my... And then I have much more space here. So for me, this is not so good. Yeah, I can't afford to go further. But for you, if you're down here, you will struggle to go to the tip. That's why I think your violin should move a bit higher on your shoulder. You see, and now I mean, you can exactly, it's slightly back down. So you would have to rebend this a bit earlier, yeah, so that it goes down a bit earlier. Yeah, the curve. Do you want to go from here? And you try to get the same. Yes, exactly. You know, we have this very lyrical beginning on the A string and on the E string here with no accents. And I think even when you come here, don't press, but keep it with, and then, yeah, pa 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 pa, triplet. But then later, when you play on the G string, ba 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 ba, yeah, very different character. Yes, so I think the semiquavers, they need to have a little bite. So to stop the bow a bit, can you try? Exactly. So if you make quickly light and then go back in the string. Exactly. Very good. And you know, when the bow is parallel to the bridge, it stays in the same place. But when I want to move to the bridge in the down bow, do I need to move it in this direction or in this direction?
This.
There?
Yeah.
Look what happens then. Huh?
Okay.
So when you want to go to the bridge, then yeah, you need to go away from the bridge. Okay? So, but if you want to stay near the bridge in the down bow, you need to go in this direction. That's why it's so important for you that your violin is not there, because you cannot do that otherwise. Yeah? And in this context, I want to introduce you to the in and out system by Galamian. I don't know if you've heard about it. The out and in. If you can once stand with your violin, holding it just on your chin, and you rotate to the left and the right. Yes, exactly. And then you go with the bow in the opposite direction. So you go like. It's like rowing. And the down bow, you push it forward. Yeah. If you can I take your bow?
Yeah.
Like, and you have a ball in your hand, okay, and you throw the ball. You go like, nah. Okay, you're standing like that, and you see how your body starts turning. Yeah. Yeah. Do it once, strong. Exactly. Your shoulder goes in the opposite direction, right? Yes. And with your feet start to rotate, and that's what you want to use. You know, when you play. Let's do some fast ones, like you go like as if you throw a ball. Good, but you want to get straight at the tip and back. Maybe keep the violin a bit more in, yeah. And back. Good. Be careful that when you do the up bow, you don't go down, but yeah, left and right, that's good. Up and down is bad. Yes. Well done. And now you do that in slow. Out and in. Yes. Exactly. Okay, that keeps you near the bridge. Are we doing something very precise on the violin? We need to be very precise. And this precision, so there is this this need or this wish for a fixed point against which we relate certain movements. For us, everything is in motion. Everything happens. I see often in students that the place where the violin is placed and where the scroll sits, not based on where it would be good for the playing angles, but where they kind of can clench it the best, where to position the instrument most economically. You know, I like your vibrato in many places, but sometimes it's quite tensed and quite a lot from the arm. In the slow bits, you tend to vibrate only in the middle of the note. We need to talk about that a bit more in detail. But look, when things get more intense, yeah, like mofa, they condense. You don't run like this. Yeah, you go like this. And you see, with the vibrato, if you open the hand, it makes it slower. If you close the hand, yeah, it makes it faster. So be careful with the other fingers that when you yeah, but that you keep them closed when you want intense vibrato. Source comes from the hand, and then the arm participates. You see that the engine is here, yeah, but then the arm can follow, but not be the first. Exactly, yeah? So that the ignition comes from the hand, and then the arm starts to follow, but that the ignition doesn't come from the hand, and then yeah? And now, I think, you know, we have different ways of expanding the sound. We can, well, the two main principles, of course, you add more weight to the, you know, to the bow, get more nearer to the bridge, or you increase the bow speed. Yeah, it's a different type of crescendo. One is a bit more, yeah, has to do more with movement and airiness in the sound, despite it getting stronger. And one is more to do with gravity. Yeah, and I think as you go up in the beginning, there is no gravity introduced into the sound. Right? The sound stays floating, but still you want to go to a forte. You still want to open up the sound. So rather than adding weight to the bow, I would try to add speed to the bow. That when you come, yeah, the D, still little bow, and then that you don't do like something like that. Yeah, that comes only on the G string then. Yeah, exactly. Look, be careful for that you don't do. Yeah, as clean as it is, the step still needs to be quite clear. So if you do third finger here, if you go first with your hand in the second position, and then, yes. Yeah, I think this is the reason why he wrote them separately, yeah, and not so that you can, yeah, put quite some movement in it without putting more pressure in it. Yeah, you know when you're playing light, the bow is basically hanging in the hand, yeah. But when you play heavy, the hand is hanging in the bow, yeah. Yeah, it's circuits. Yeah, you know, for this type of kind of legato détaché, the elbow goes a bit in advance. You see, this is still doing down bow, and this is already. Yeah. Yes, and keep your violin a bit in. Yes, okay. And then the size of each note exactly the same, or what do you think?
Maybe the same.
I think they get a bit more intense, no? Good. And then difficult place because you have a fast bow, and then you need to save for this one.
단점이면 단점일 수 있는데 감정의 폭이 큰 게 단점이자 장점인 것 같습니다.
Great. You see, there is a lot of legato going on in these sections. Yeah, it's all written in legato here. So I think that's really important to follow through. So when you come up here, these arpeggios, just make sure that you note there's no accent on the new string. Yeah, the wrist goes in advance. Yes, sir. Goes already down. Yeah, you know when it's really fast, you can even think that the elbow actually goes a bit up, like this. Yeah, if you go from one string to the other. You don't even need to take the whole arm with you. What I find one very fantastic exercise from Paul Rowland for that is if you put the bow here, and you wave at me with the other hand. Yes, you hold the screw. Just take this one down. Put this thumb not back on, just like that. Wiggle the thumb. Okay, full pressure. Exactly. Now you go up and down with the wrist. Whilst keeping the pressure on. Exactly. Now you put the thumb back, and you go like. Oh, you're very good with that already. Yeah, so that when you have the string cross. Yeah, that it already sinks down. That's right. Good. Yeah. Important is that you show the C a bit. Yeah, for the pulse. Good, great. Look here. You can also. Yeah, use this. Exactly. Great, super. You know, you play these one notes separately, which I think is good. Yeah, but then why separately? to bring them out a bit more, yeah, because they are on a weak part. Here is not so strong, the violin. So don't rush over them, yeah. Then you might as well just slur them otherwise. I don't have specific expectation. It depends. Again, it depends on the student. I just believe that it's good to take your time, and I'd rather having done one topic thought with thought and properly, and than someone having prepared a lot of repertoire but has nothing done, in great detail. So I'm a fan of thoroughness. Which note do you find the most important one in each scale? Yes, always the top one, right? And how can we show that a note is important? What are the ideas? What can we do?
Crescendoing.
Yeah, that's what you do all the time. But there are also other methods of bringing out a note. For example, if you delay it, it also becomes more important. If I say a sentence and I suddenly make a little gap before, you listen more. If I say, tomorrow I'm going to China, then you listen more, yeah? Then instead of me saying, tomorrow I'm going to China. That's one thing you can do, but you can also, make a, so to say, a crescendo inwards. It doesn't always have to point out. So maybe you can choose one or two where you don't just go onto it, but that you show that it's an important note through other means, whatever that means.
Okay.
Yeah, so largamente it says here, so keep the weight in the string. We have a full sound. There are so many pieces where we have these octaves, these broken octaves, in most of the concertos. And I think if you almost think like that, the bottom string isn't left, but that you just adding the top string. Rather than, yeah, do you want to try it? Yeah, you see, and I think you can, because it's a long crescendo, you go down here again, ya da 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 da, and then do another crescendo. Yes, great. Good. Yes, beautiful playing. Well done. Look, sixths. Yeah, sixth, playing sixth, they always you know, we associate it with very romantic music. And so I believe, like, you know, in the Paganini Caprice, you can use a bit of slides. It suits your music usually very well in sixth. Yeah. So I would not hesitate to put a few very light glissandos into your playing. Yeah. So you're using different fingers. Yeah. You could try it out. What happens if you use the same fingers? Octave? Great. Good. And then maybe you can experiment a bit with the size of the vibrato, that you don't do the same amount on every. Yeah? I think. Yeah. Has a bit faster, right? And then maybe not so early. And when you start vibrato, you know, from zero vibrato to start vibrato, is it first slower and then faster, or is it first faster and then slower? When you think of a singer singing a note without vibrato and then starting the vibrato, is it first bigger and then smaller, or first smaller and then bigger? Yeah? And you're always going like big in the beginning, but I would start little but fast and then get. Yeah? Yeah, so that we almost can't, you know, recognize it in the beginning. Just fast and little, and then you build on that. Exactly. Great.
제가 되고 싶은 연주자는 청중들의 마음을 움직이는 연주자인 것 같습니다.
Good. Great. Think of which notes where the phrase goes to and where it goes away from, yeah? Dee da 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 dee yam ba da 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 dee da da da. The end of the phrases are not necessarily accented. Great. Good. I think we need to stop here. It was fantastic to hear you playing. Just to summarize, I think important for you would be that you not play too far to the left, but everything comes a bit further inwards, yeah, in order for you to gain the same quality you have at the here, at the tip. For your vibrato, just more variation is needed in the vibrato. It's quite the same type of vibrato. So maybe you can explore a bit what the hand can do, not just the arm, and also be careful that the other fingers, you know, when you vibrate, what are they doing? Are they long or not? Are they like this or like this? Yeah, but yours are often like this. Yeah, when you see a baby sleeping, you see the hands like this. That's a relaxed hand. Yeah, and often your vibrato, you lengthen the other fingers. Maybe try to more often relax them into the hand. Okay, well done.
Thank you very
Bravo.
much.
바이올린을 전공하고 있는 운흥초등학교 5학년 김사랑입니다. 다른 친구들보다 좀 늦게 시작한 편이어가지고 잘하고 싶은 때가 있을 때 그때 좀 더 다른 친구들보다 많이 해야 되고 열심히 해야 되는데 그런 게 좀 힘들었던 것 같아요. 바이올린의 얇은 소리하고 부드러운 음색이 바이올린의 매력이라고 생각해요. 이번에 10도 화음이 곡에 있는데 그 화음 음정 소리 잘 내는 거 하고 활 가볍게 너무 가볍게 아니면 너무 무겁게 쓰지 않는 것 배워가고 싶어요.
Wonderful. It's a very difficult piece. Yes. You need to be careful that you don't do too complicated things too early in your life. Yeah, to make sure that you don't build in too many bad habits into your playing. Yeah, it's better to stick to some basics and to really care for good setup rather than going on too early to too many difficult things. But you're doing this very well, so we're going to work through some bits of that today. Paganini writes very operatic music, so it's basically either virtuosic violin playing or imitating an opera aria. So where is the first time the opera singer starts? In the beginning, of course, that's a violinist, very virtuosic. And where does the opera singer comes in the first time? That's the singer, yeah? That says dolce here. So we need to change totally the technique from playing fast and virtuosic to singing. Yes, you see, you're still a violinist here. And then become a singer. And then you become a virtuosic player again, okay? When we play the virtuosic, accented, fast things, the fingers are the main engine. But when we play legato, like a singer, the fingers are not the main engine, they are the mediator between the arm and the bow. You see how I use my fingers for the accents? Yeah. With the fingers. But when I play legato, the fingers, I use them as well, but passively. You see, we need to make one very important distinction. When you play legato, you curl the fingers in the down bow. When you play staccato, you lengthen the fingers in the down bow. You go that way around, yeah? But I'd like you to try the dolce section again here. And you want to try to curl your fingers in every down bow. Good. Okay. You just play me on the open string. Good. And your arm, the slight small circles. Yeah. What you want to try is that the wrist goes down before the bow change. Yeah. So in the end, when I'm here, fingers, they still do up bow, but the wrist already does down bow.
다른 연주자들이 하는 걸 보게 됐는데 그게 너무 멋있어 보여가지고 전공하고 싶다 이런 생각이 들었던 것 같아요.
Good. And then do a circle in. Good. When you play legato with the bow, the left hand, the fingers, need to do the articulation. Look here. Very good. But here. It's very important. Sounds different than. Yeah. So. Difficult, is good. Yeah. So that's what Flesch, a very, very famous pedagogue from the last century, said. You need to learn to put all fingers down and then lift them completely, like this. Can you put all fingers down on the string? Okay, and now the third finger, you go like that. Difficult, yeah? The other three stay on the string and you practice this. Yeah, so at the moment you can maybe go till here, right? And tomorrow you go there, tomorrow, and then in 2 weeks you can go like this. Yeah, that's really important for the quality of the legato playing, okay? That the lifting becomes independent, the fingers. So then we have another virtuosic section, and then where does the next operatic section start?
Here?
Exactly, it's the dolce again. Yes, we have the same again, just with a bit different notes. You know what an upbeat is? An upbeat before the downbeat. Like for example, this is an upbeat. Da, da, da. Upbeat. This is an upbeat. Yeah, before the downbeat. This is all upbeats. Da 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 da, ba bum, ba da 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 da, da. Yeah. D the strongest. Okay. Yeah, let's go from the beginning. Sarang, there are already written a lot of rests rests in the piece. So we don't need to put extra rests in. Yeah, now you can wait, but here... Oh, too long, yeah? There's now you can wait. Then you stop. Yeah. Exactly. I remember as a teenager thinking, what do I want to do in life, and what do I want to do as a profession? And I always found that I loved this, that you find it all in violin playing. You have your emotions, you have your body, and you have your intellect, all three together in one subject. Yeah, it's this holistic idea that all parts of your being are involved, which in the end made me want to do it, I guess. Paganini had his thumb, apparently, some sources suggested, here always. And when he went to the first position, he would stay there. I'm not sure if it's 100% true that he did it, but he certainly had the idea of 13 positions, but more like low, medium, and high. And look, when you go down to the first position or to the second position, do you know what you're doing with your arm? I show you. Look, here you do. You go with the wrist out. But if you can think that you're just doing this, exactly. Try once out how far you can go. Can you once go way too much, like this? And you go all the way totally in with the wrist, like that, yeah. Can you lean your wrist against the violin, here? And then move your hand forwards and backwards? Yes, without the fingers, like fingers here. Exactly. Okay. It looks very good, very relaxed what you do. Now do you do the same thing, but you put the finger on the string, the second finger? Let's do. Yes, keep the pinky finger relaxed. Okay, can I hold your arm? And you try again. You can have a bit of contact. Hold the violin with your... And then try again. Good. Can you practice a bit vibrato like this in the fifth position? Fifth position here. So you go like... Then you do the same in the first position. You put a little orange here. Yeah? And an apple, something like this, so that you can't move the arm. Because you are very, very active with the arm. It's very dangerous. It can become problematic if you're not careful. I think because you vibrate so much with the arm, you want to go down with the, because with the arm vibrato, people always go out with the wrist, yeah? But if you learn to use this, the thumb can hold the violin as well. Do you know how people would play without shoulder rest before there was the shoulder rest? You need to hold it all on the thumb then. Paganini had no shoulder rest. You played it. If you want to take the shoulder rest away, you can then, of course, always play with shoulder rest, but just so that you understand what the hand can learn. Look, if we go from the first to the third position, and you do this with the thumb, yeah, but look, the thumb can go in advance. Good, and now look, then we go up to fifth position. Thumb first. Exactly. Good. I think it needs to be a bit nearer here because it's not so light, yeah? So maybe here, not so much here. Yeah, good. Look, the C is a bit of a surprise, yeah, because it's different from the beginning. So don't play it too normal, yeah? Maybe you can wait a bit. And then, yeah, dark. Two professions, of course, they influence each other, and I'm glad that I always gain something from when I perform myself, from which, this aspect is something interesting I would put into my teaching as well. Other than that, you know, when you perform yourself, you're quite self-centered, not in a bad sense, but through your own personality, through your own intellect. And the whole thing, performing, happens in time, so there is no second chance. When you play, there's the pulse going. So your thinking patterns are quite, you know, in a way rigid. And when you teach, you think differently. Your thinking is much more, yeah, I just love this synergy of different layers of thinking in teaching. So you think mechanically, you think physiologically, you think mathematically, you think psychologically when you think about how to help a student. And this is just, for me, a fascinating profession to do that all under the umbrella of, you know, the art we are doing. Yes. Yeah. So, look, you're losing the idea. You're getting a bit sad here. Yeah. So you're losing the will power here. So don't play. Yeah. Still inwards. Yeah. But do we want to start a? And now. Yes, well done, Sarang. Your scales are very good, but maybe you cannot do a gap. Yeah, that you come not. You understand? Yeah, but go one thing. And then the chords. Yeah. Look, we want to use the fingers. That's not so difficult, but what is difficult to come back with the finger, so, and then, that's difficult. Look, when I play, the bow afterwards goes a bit upwards. Yes, and then quickly back. Your tip should not go behind your head, but more in this direction. You see? Very good. Always when you come back, try to go back in this direction. And back, and back. So you practice this with the hands, here with the finger. Not with the whole arm.
곡들이 색깔들이 되게 다양한데 그 다양한 색깔들을 모두 잘 소화할 수 있는 그런 연주자가 되고 싶어요.
Good. Look. Dum ba da dum bim bim dum ti da dum ti dum ti dum. Please, please, please. So we can show this. We are a singer here again. Yeah. You see, he writes a little accent on this one. Ti dum ti dum. Do you try from the Dolce? Exactly. Good. But if you do the first one strong, then you need to do the second one a bit lighter. Otherwise, we have twice the same. Ta-da, ta, ti. Ta-da-dum, ti-da. And wrist. Yes, yeah. Using your wrist to connect the notes. T, T. Exactly. You know that Paganini wrote that all on the D string, so you can go. But I think maybe your teacher has put it on the A string because it's a bit too high for your small hands still. But maybe in a couple of years you can play it all on the D string. Good. Well done. That sounded fantastic. Just to summarize for your playing for the Paganini concerto, you need to be a singer and a violinist. Okay, and when you are a singer, it's important not to start like this, but like, oh. Yeah, never like this, but really smooth and with a bit less hair, and then you can sing in the hand. And then the vibrato is something very complicated. Be careful that you don't just use your arm, but that you find also other ways. Your wrist, be careful because you are not so big yet, you're still growing, so you're trying to reach around the violin and then this happens easily. Yeah, can become problematic. So when you go down to positions, maybe you can think a bit like this rather than like this. Yeah? And if you practice sometimes without a shoulder rest, then the hand is, so to say, forced to do a bit of that. Yeah? It can't change it, and that will maybe help you a bit with this one. Okay? Bravo, well done.
제가 가지고 있던 고민들을 오늘 너무 정확하게 파악해 주시고 고쳐주셔가지고 많이 도움이 된 것 같습니다. Thank you for coming here and your lesson. Thank you so much.
마스터 클래스를 많이 안 해보기도 했고 촬영이기도 해서 좀 많이 긴장했는데 선생님께서 엄청 친절하게 알려주셔가지고 좀 좋은 시간이었다고 생각해요. 오늘 잘 가르쳐주셔서 감사하고 앞으로 또 뵐 기회 있으면 뵀으면 좋겠어요.
I studied in various countries and it helps you to understand yourself. It helps you to understand where you're coming from, which parts of you are really you, and which parts, just by being thrown in different environments, you reflect on those things. And I think that's important to understand for yourself in order to progress as a person and a player ultimately. Go and study abroad, I would say.